Justice with Judge Mablean will be life, because in everything we do, it involves the law. You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for their ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I'll make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Gary Edwards is suing Samantha West in the amount of $1,230. Mr. Edwards claims Ms. West injured him with her car after he tried to get her out of a handicapped parking space he felt she didn't have a right to park in. Ms. West claims Mr. Edwards caused his own injury by standing too close to her car and says she has an invisible disability, so the plaintiff was in the wrong trying to make her move.
This is the matter of Gary Edwards versus Samantha West, and I understand, Mr. Edwards, you want Ms. West to pay your medical bill because she injured your foot, and I call it the case of the handicap parking patrol.
Yes, ma'am, I do. I take it personally when people park in handicap spots when they're not supposed to. My mama has a handicap, and she has a dislocated hip, and that she got recently, and she has a handicap sign placard now in her car. And I happen to notice how many people there are who actually will park in a handicapped spot, and they have no business parking in a handicapped spot. I do take personal offense to this, and I've talked to people. I've gone up to people before. I talked to a young lady 10 days ago, and I went up to her and confronted her because she did not look handicapped to me. And she said, well, it was her mama's car, and she wasn't handicapped. And I made it clear to her that she had no business parking in that spot.
So when you say don't look handicapped to you, who are you?
I'm a man who has to drive his mother around who's handicapped, and I can certainly see when somebody is walking fine and looking healthy and fine.
What's the legal definition of handicap? Because you're talking about looking fine and healthy to you. Who are you? Who died and made you God of the handicap? Is that your job?
Your Honor, I can't tell you the legal definition of handicap, but I know because
so
I
if you
drive
can't tell me the legal definition of handicap, then how can you decide whether someone is or isn't, and whether someone should or should not be parking in a handicapped parking space?
I'm a person too, and I have two eyes and I have two ears.
But you think every handicap is something that can be seen? Under the legal definition, is it?
I don't know, Your Honor. I know what I saw in this case.
That's my point. Before you go walking around trying to judge whether somebody should or should not park in a handicapped parking space, first of all, you have to know the legal definition and know what qualifies them as such.
Okay, but that's
and so all you know is your eyes. You got to be crippled or limping or using a cane or a wheelchair or a walker. That's your definition, right?
Well, I believe what I see, and I believe that
We're not talking about what you believe. Do you know the law?
Your Honor, I'm not a lawyer. I do not know the law.
My point exactly. So why are you walking up to people telling them they can't park there?
Well, this woman took my parking place. My mama was in the car. It was my mama's parking place. I was getting ready to pull into it, and she cut me off and cut right into it.
Uh-huh.
And
so why do you think she couldn't park there?
I had to leave my mama going into the store by herself.
Right.
Because there are no more spots.
So then you went up to this lady and chided her for parking there, huh?
Well, I looked around for parking for some time, but when I come back around after I find a spot, I see her, and I recognize her face, and she's walking just fine, and I had to say something to her, yes, because she cut me off, and she took my space, and my poor mama, who needed that space too. Where's my mama?
If you keep walking up to people telling them they can't park and take your space, you may get hurt. What happened? Why are you sitting down?
I'm sorry. It's my disability. I can't stand too long or walk too long. And
you're disabled? You have a disability?
Yes, and just
not according to him?
That's because he can't see it, and just because you can't see it doesn't mean that I'm not struggling from anything.
What's your disability, ma'am?
Well,
I think I'm not supposed to use that word. What's the new correct terminology? It's something different.
Different ability?
It don't say disabled. It's something like decidedly different or something.
Right,
What's your difference?
Well, I had surgery on my brain, and it causes, yes. and it causes me to become dizzy, nauseated. Sometimes I stumble, and that's when I know that I've been doing anything too long. Sometimes it's a short amount of time or a long time. It depends. I walk around with a foldable chair, just in case if I need to sit down whenever I want to. I can't even do the things that I used to do, like even with my kids. I mean, you know, they want to play, and mommy can't play too long. I might pass out on them.
Brain surgery?
So, yes.
How long ago?
This is about a little over 2 years.
So do you have a handicap parking sticker?
I do. I do.
Can I see you?
Yes.
May I see it?
Yes.
No, show it to the handicap police over there. Was that displayed in your vehicle of the day in question?
Yes.
When this gentleman walked up to you and to your car, what happened?
Well, I seen him
You
just
see
like
this?
I
You
deal
see
with
this?
it all the time.
You recognize this?
I see that, Your Honor.
What
I
is
see
that?
Well, I see the handicap placard.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
When you go up to somebody acting a fool, you think they're not supposed to act a fool too?
Well, she didn't look angry to me.
See what I mean?
She got the face,
See, and so she could have not looked angry and pulled out a knife and slashed your neck.
And later,
He saw that I had been calling this guy and ended up calling him and finding out that it was a man, and then he kicked me out.
Then he kicked you out of the house?
Yeah.
Justice with Judge Mablean. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Gary Edwards, who is suing Samantha West for medical expenses.
So the lady says she had brain surgery and she has limited mobility in the terms of the length of walking, the amount of walking, etc. So you handicap police, is that a handicap?
Well, Your Honor, she did run over my foot, in fact, and in fact,
Why
took
she,
off,
how'd she run
and
over your
left.
foot?
What kind of person does that?
How did she run
Runs
over your foot?
and leaves.
How did she run over your foot?
I can tell you.
I was at her car, talking to her, getting her attention, telling her
Talking to her or fussing with her?
Well, I had to speak my mind.
Yeah. You over there telling her what
deal
she
with
should
that
be.
all the
What
time.
happened, Miss
I deal with that
West?
all the time. Now, I was just walking out the grocery store like any other time I do. This man here came to me all rowdy. And honestly, I'm just trying to get in my car. I already feel what's about to happen. I was dizzy in the checkout line, so I just want to get inside of my car. What he was doing, I get that all the time. People fussing at me about something.
What about my mom? My mom
No,
was here.
look, your
Mama was doing
mama
better than me.
has...
She in the store walking by herself.
Stop, let's get this straight. Your mother has a handicap parking sticker. She has one.
She
doesn't
does.
give your mother privileges over her
No, but
because because she's walking with a cane or she's had hip surgery
We had the
and she
right.
has brain surgery. It doesn't give her priority.
We had the rights to that spot. She cut me off.
You didn't have the right to that spot. You know when you go into parking structures and parking lots, the person who gets in there first.
Oh, then she
You were
takes off.
angry over the fact that, quote unquote, she cut you off. Now that may have been rude, may have not been courteous, may have not been polite, but you don't have the right to go up to her car and start going off on her. Somebody's gonna hurt you. Oh, that's right, you did get hurt. What happened?
Yeah. Thank you.
What happened?
So he tapping on the window, just going at it. So I cracked it down slightly, and I just want to get home, get dinner started, and rest, okay? Let's just say he's accusing me of not parking in my illegal spot. And I was like, man, I'm not trying to hear this. I rolled my window up, and he's still all on the car. Like, who do you think you are? I'm so sick of people doing this. You think you can just park anywhere?
Like he is today.
To 10th power. 10th power when it was really happening.
Okay,
so
then what did you do?
backing out. I'm just backing out, carrying on with my day, carrying on. I see him jumped up like if I ran over his foot or something. And if I did, it was his fault. He was all on the car. You should just did detailing on it. The way he was on it.
So she ran over your foot?
She ran over my foot.
Which one?
She ran over my right foot.
With the rear tires or the front tires?
Front tires.
So that means you were holding on to the car, and when you saw that she had started backing out.
I had no warning. She jumped. She did it. She pulled in reverse and she pulled back. She did not give no warning about that at all.
Really? She
just
didn't
did
get
it.
no warning about you coming up to her window, knocking on the door either.
Well, I'm allowed to confront people.
No, you're not. First of all, you're not the police. You're not allowed to confront people.
Well, who's gonna say
because
something?
when you confront people like you just did, You got your foot run over. You could get shot. You could get beat up. You could get hurt. You could endanger yourself. That is not the way you handle that. If you think she was not appropriately parked, you can go inside the store. Most stores have a manager. Most parking lots have security of some kind or somebody manning them. And then you say, there's a lady parked out there in this particular spot, describe the car. She doesn't have a handicap placard. You let them deal with that. They can either call the police, use their local security, however they do it, but that's not your responsibility. You were angry. And just because you were angry that you got cut off, if she cut you off, or if she was not supposed to be parked there.
I'm not allowed to go up to a person and talk to them.
You go up there and talk to them, but you take the consequences when you do. Yeah, you're allowed to do it, but be ready for the consequences. Just like you were angry, how do you know the person you're walking up to is not angry? When you go up to somebody acting a fool, you think they're not supposed to act a fool too?
Well, she didn't look angry to me.
See what I mean? See, and so she could have not looked angry and pulled out a knife and slashed your neck because she didn't look angry. That's my point. You don't know who you're approaching when you go up to somebody, a stranger, and start going off on them. You don't know what to expect. She could have maced your behind. A woman, you coming up to her window banging? If I had some mace, that's what I would have done, first response. Well, you can't do that, sir.
Well, I'm going to stand up for my mama. That's what I'm going to
Well, you keep standing up for your mama, and next time you may end up with a broken nose or something else other than just whatever happened to your foot. What happened to your foot?
I got a broken big toe. I got $1,230 here, medical bill.
You got the medical insurance?
I do not.
Well, I don't know how you're going to pay for it. But Miss West is not going to pay for it. Judgment for the defendant.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I hope you learned something today. You just can't be walking around town judging people off how they look.
I was upset you stole my parking spot. I didn't realize you had a disability. I'm sorry.
Coming up.
I feel like he liked to show his love with physical, with like monetary, materialistic things. He was always buying stuff, and like that was supposed to make up for the fact that he was never around, and I never had anyone to talk to. He would fall asleep all the time when I was talking to him, literally like mid-conversation.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Reggie Young is suing Stephanie Johnson in the amount of $384. Mr. Young claims Ms. Johnson used their shared cell phone plan to make expensive international calls and says she needs to pay for the overages. Ms. Johnson claims Mr. Young told her the plan would cover the calls and says that even though she offered to pay for half the charges, the plaintiff is really suing her because she cheated on him.
In the matter of Reggie Young versus Stephanie Johnson, Mr. Young, you want her to pay you for a telephone bill over and above your usual bill for phone calls she made to Brazil. Tell me about it.
That's correct, Your Honor. I noticed that I had some excess expenditures on the phone bill. After a period of time, she had cheated on me, and I started looking at the phone bill, and I noticed that it was an extra $384, and I was wondering, what that was about. And with a little investigation, I found that she had been calling a man in Brazil that she had been dating.
Okay, how long had you lived together?
For a total of 2 years.
In living together 2 years, you had a telephone. This is the home phone or a cell phone?
This is a cell phone plan that we had.
Both of you have a phone?
Yes.
2 phones?
Correct.
In whose name?
My name.
Okay, and what was the plan?
The plan was basically a basic wireless plan, unlimited everything.
Unlimited talk data?
Talk and text data.
And did you have a roaming plan for international calling?
We did. I paid an extra $30 a month for the roaming plan to call unlimited international.
To call what?
Unlimited international calls.
To call unlimited international.
That's
and
correct.
Why did you have an unlimited international calling plan?
Because I wanted her to feel comfortable calling her grandmother in Brazil, and she also has a friend named Bree in Brazil, her best friend growing up.
Okay, so she had relatives and friends in Brazil.
Correct.
Okay. And this took place for 2 years?
That's correct.
All of a sudden, you don't have this plan.
All of a sudden, I don't have the plan.
Why not?
Because I took it off when I found out she was cheating on me. I started looking at the phone bills, and I realized that I don't need this extra $30, so I just took it off. And I didn't
Okay,
explain.
wait a minute. Did you take it off because she was cheating, or did you take it off because it was an unnecessary cost given that it wasn't being used? Which was it?
After I found out that she had been cheating on me, I started looking at the phone bill. The extra money wasn't there yet. So I was like, okay, well, I don't really need this. She's not really utilizing this service, so I'm going to just take it off. And I take care of all the bills and everything. I pay for everything, all her nice fancy jewelry and car and everything. And I never explain to her why I spend or what I spend. It's just, I want it to be, comfortable for her. So I didn't tell her.
Coming up.
He liked to show his love with monetary, materialistic things. He was always buying stuff, and that was supposed to make up for the fact that he was never around, and I never had anyone to talk to. He would fall asleep all the time when I was talking to him, literally mid-conversation.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Reggie Young, who is suing Stephanie Johnson for $384.
You took off the unlimited international roaming plan,
That's
and
right.
you didn't tell her.
That's correct.
Okay, so then what happened?
I went to Brazil to visit my grandmother and Bree. I met a guy in Brazil, and we weren't physical or anything at first. He works all the time, and I've been feeling super...
How long did you stay in Brazil?
A few weeks.
Okay, so did this guy come back from Brazil with you?
No.
Did he live in Brazil, or did he live where you lived?
He was living in Brazil at the time, and so I came back, and he's at work all the time, and I don't know, I was enjoying having a friend to talk to, and he started, which I didn't know, but I guess he was looking at the phone bill every single month and looking at who I was calling, and so he saw that I had been calling this guy and ended up calling him and finding out that it was a man, and then he kicked me out.
Then he kicked you out of the house?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get to $384?
The $384, Your Honor, was the additional expense incurred on the phone bill for the international calling that she had made to her lover in Brazil.
For how many months?
I'd say...
It was 1 month. It was from one bill to the next bill. He saw, the bill went up that month because...
After we had been dating for about 2 years.
I feel like he liked to show his love with physical, with monetary, materialistic things. He was always buying stuff, and that was supposed to make up for the fact that he was never around, and I never had anyone to talk to. He would fall asleep all the time when I was talking to him, literally mid-conversation.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
You handled all the finances.
Yeah.
You canceled the plan knowing that she called Brazil. What difference would it make if she was calling Mary Sue versus Billy Joe?
Yeah.
If you had left it at $30, you'd have paid $30.
Yeah.
You put yourself in that position. You handle the finances.
Yeah.
You're the businessman. She's the kept woman. I'm going to do judgment for the defendant.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
This was very petty for you to bring me into court for this today, and you should have just told me that you canceled the international plan.
I worked very hard to give you everything. And at the end of the day, you just cheat on me.
This has been a production.
Justice with Judge Mablean will be life, because in everything we do, it involves the law. You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I'll make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Hannah Keller is suing Shauna Jenkins in the amount of $4,500. Ms. Keller claims Ms. Jenkins broke her lease and owes her 3 months of rent. Ms. Jenkins claims the plaintiff was a slumlord and she wouldn't repair her air conditioner, so she had to leave.
All rise. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Mablean presiding.
Thank you. You may be seated. In the matter of Hannah Keller versus Shauna Jenkins, Ms. Keller, you're suing your former tenant
Yes.
for rent. You're saying unpaid rent?
Yes, there's 3 months of unpaid rent, as well as I do have some pictures of damages that I've had to repair as well.
Okay, so rent and damages. And Ms. Jenkins, you're counterclaiming for the return of your security deposit.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's talk.
All right. Well, Ms. Jenkins here, I was under the impression was a great tenant. She's friends with Gina, one of my tenants, and I was given just a great word about her. And yeah, her reference was great. She seemed like a nice person when I met her, but from the time I met her, within the first month, it was just nothing but problems. I have good relations with all of my tenants. I've been managing this building for 10 years, and from the beginning, she had a problem with the parking spot. There was no parking spot for her because she's in a studio, and there are other tenants that might get 2 parking spots because they have 2 bedrooms. And unfortunately, there's a lot of empty spaces that are vacant that she doesn't get to occupy, but unfortunately, it's not in her lease. And so she just kept on, and I had to keep telling her it just wasn't part of the rules. And I'm unfortunately not able to give you a parking spot because we don't offer a parking space.
Okay, so is that an issue today?
No, it was just from the beginning. I'm just saying it's been a problem, and then from there, unfortunately, she was hot and she asked me for an air conditioner, and I provided her an air conditioner, and it is not in the lease that I maintain the air conditioner. However, she did not maintain it, and I gave her a set of instructions with the air conditioner on how to maintain it.
Is that an issue before me today?
It is the issue. Unfortunately, she didn't pay me her rent because of this air conditioner I was so kind to give her.
Oh, so we're finally getting to the point.
That is the point. Yes, darling.
Okay. So, she wanted an air conditioner. You provided the air conditioner.
Yes.
She did not maintain it. There was a problem with the air conditioner. Then the tenant did not pay the rent.
Exactly.
Scenario, right?
There you go.
Okay.
Sorry to get to the point faster.
How many months did she not pay the rent?
She did not pay the rent for 3 months.
And, all right. Did you ever fix the air conditioner?
I sure did, but...
After she left?
Yes, after she left. But the thing is that I did tell her that I would fix it, and the thing is that it wasn't a top priority because it's a luxury item. It's not a necessity, and everything that she needs was in working, operating, and there were other things that I was fixing. I did tell her I would fix it, but the problem wasn't even that I would fix it or not. Before I could even tell her I would fix it, she was too busy telling me she wasn't going to pay the rent. So the issue became something different. And I do have a list of repairs here.
Oh, so there is something else.
She did damage the walls and put screws in where she wasn't supposed to hang things, and I had to do drywall.
So the rent $1,500 a month?
The rent is $1,000 a month.
Oh, $1,000.
And we've got 3 months rent as well as
repairs and damages.
$1,490 in repairs, exactly.
Let me see your repairs and damages.
Here you go.
And that's after she moved out, you had to do all of this. Repairs.
Yes. There was a dog in there that scratched up the floor. I had to have it ground down. I had to make the whole place presentable. And unfortunately, she did a lot of things that were...
Did you get a pet deposit?
Yes. Yes, I did take the deposit to do these repairs.
But did you get a specific pet deposit?
Yes.
I read the lease.
So, yeah, you have to leave a
I got
proper
it.
pet deposit.
What's cleaning services, 5 hours? What's that? Just cleaning the apartment?
Yes, the place was a mess, Your Honor. She did not clean. She did not leave anything. There was even dog fecal matter all over the floor.
Well, that's certainly not in this.
Pardon me?
What are these pictures?
Oh, those are pictures of the things that she destroyed. There's a picture of the countertop. You can see it's been delaminated along the edges. There's the thing that she screwed into the wall that I had to have drywalled. There's also a copy of the floor, which is totally damaged, and you can see why I had to do the $900 repair on the floor.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
This is some tomfoolery. I did not pay the rent because I'm allowed to deduct the rent when the place is inhabitable. This place was so poorly maintained, I shouldn't have never had to pay rent.
And later.
Did you ever know that you had to get the final approval of Mr. Hanson?
No, Your Honor. I know.
Come on, you ought to stop lying. Who does that?
Justice with Judge Mablean. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Hannah Keller, who is suing Shauna Jenkins for $4,500.
All right, your turn, Ms. Jenkins. What happened?
Your Honor, this is some tomfoolery. I did not pay the rent because I'm allowed to deduct the rent when a place is inhabitable. This place was so poorly maintained. I shouldn't have never had to pay rent. It should have been free as poorly as it was maintained.
No, you should have moved if it was that bad.
And that's why I submitted my paperwork and let her know that I would be moving, and that's what she's saying I didn't pay rent for the time, and I told her I was no longer going to inhabit it because of the air conditioner that she put in the unit.
Okay.
You see how long it takes her to go ahead and do
whether
stuff.
it was inhabitable or not. That's a decision I make.
Okay.
So you need to tell me what was going on, and I'll determine whether it was uninhabitable.
I did not ask for an AC unit. I did let her know it was hot in the property, but I've been there for a year and I just use my fan. When she decides that she's finally ready to put an AC unit in the property, which now takes up my one window, I let her know within a couple of days, hey, the AC that you just put in is no longer working. It took her 3 months to get around to fixing it. So
what
now
do you mean by no longer working?
It doesn't blow cold air. I don't know what was wrong with it, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't blow cold air. It wasn't as cold as it was supposed to be, as it normally is. Like once it was working and it was powering properly, and then it wasn't.
Okay, and you told her that the first month.
I told her that within the first couple of days of it not working.
Okay, and you told her that did you give her notice in writing that you weren't going to pay the rent?
No, I didn't give her notice in writing that I was not going to pay the rent. I didn't give her any notice because I let her know in advance that this thing isn't working, and because of this AC being in the window, I'm no longer able to use the fan that I was using for the first 9 months. I was fine.
Why? Because the fan is not in the window.
I put the fan in the window it's. On Your Honor, you would not believe how.
What kind of fan did you have to put in the window?
A normal box fan. A normal box fan, you put it in the window backwards to pull the hot air out. It's so hot in that property.
So you had a fan in the window?
Yes.
And she put an air conditioning unit in
there?
Yes. And did you go get another fan?
I keep my same box fan. I still have it.
Did you take hers out and put your box fan back in?
Thank you. I could not remove that AC.
Maybe you couldn't, but did you have that done?
No, I couldn't. I'm not going to touch that AC because the moment you touch something, she's going to say it's broken and it's going to be on me. Just like the refrigerator, just like everything else.
I expected an expert, a person who knows how to do it.
I let the person whose responsible it is to who put it in there fix it. And I let her know that
Ms. Jenkins,
it was the
I'm
case.
going to ask you this question one more time. Did you pay for a professional person who knows how to install and uninstall air conditioning units to take hers out and to put yours back in, or another one, since hers was not working properly?
No. That's her responsibility to fix it.
You really think so, huh?
I do.
Okay. That's why I asked you that question, because I'm getting ready to educate you. What else?
So the reason why I'm countersuing for my security deposit back, because the list of things that she's saying is broken, is normal wear and tear, Your Honor. She already has my pet deposit, so anything, pet deposit I pay monthly for. If you see number 6 in my lease, I pay $100 additional so that I'm allowed to have a pet. She gets the $100, so if there's scratches on the floor or anything that's from a normal wear and tear of a pet, she can't charge me for that. And she can't take that out of my security deposit. I'm allowed to hang something. A little hole in the wall from a screw is normal wear and tear of living conditions.
I agree with you on that point, that is normal wear and tear, everything you did. Plus, you said the floor was caused by the pet. And she's correct. In her rental agreement, you charged her $100 more per month to allow her to keep the pet. In terms of the air conditioning unit, the air conditioning does not have to be provided. But once she provided it, then you had to make sure that it worked properly. But here's the procedure. You had to get the final approval of Mr. Hanson?
No, Your Honor. I know.
Come on, you ought to stop lying. Who does that?
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Kathy Larson is suing Dale Hansen in the amount of $500. Ms. Larson claims Mr. Hansen refused to print T-shirts that support gay rights after she hired him to do so, which caused her group to miss an event. Mr. Hansen claims he has the right to refuse service and says he notified Ms. Larson as soon as he saw her order.
In the matter of Kathy Larson versus Dale Hansen, Ms. Larson is suing for the refund of her $500 entry fee for a relay team because you failed to print her T-shirts, she indicates. Tell me about it, Ms. Larson.
I saw on Facebook an ad for a relay I was really interested in. I persuaded like 19 friends of mine to come with me and participate in the relay. It was a relay for equal rights for all human beings, basically LGBT community. The main event of the relay was a race in which one member of the team would always need to be on the track. The basic rule was each team had to have the same clothes, like uniforms, some matching clothes. So being as I persuaded my friends to participate in this thing, I said I'll be in charge of the clothes. A friend of mine designed something we liked. I looked the Saturday before the relay, I looked for a shop who could do it as quick as possible. I found online Mr. Hansen's shop. What I liked about it is that I had the opportunity to have it made in 3 to 5 days, which was great for me. And I could pick it up because it was a local business. So I sent a design. I got a confirmation that my order was placed.
All of this is being done electronically?
Yes, that's Saturday, a week before the relay. Monday morning, I called up Mr. Hansen's shop. I talked with someone named John. He was very nice. I made sure with him that it could be ready by Friday afternoon, in which I said, I will come and pick it up. He said, no problem, everything's going to be okay. That's Monday. Tuesday morning, the design was approved. I called up John. My friends wanted to change the design. I asked him if it would be okay and if it could still be ready by Friday, 4 p.m. He said, no problem, we'll do it. It's pretty much the same. It's the same like range of colors. It will be ready by Friday, 4 p.m. I called up Wednesday again just to make sure. Friday afternoon, 4 p.m., I arrived to Mr. Hansen's shop. And there is Mr. Hansen. I say my name, and he gives me a very rude look and says, I refuse to give you service. He didn't explain any more than that. It just like pointed out to a notice that said he's allowed to refuse service to whoever he decides.
And why was that, Mr. Hansen?
To be specific, the design just went against my religious beliefs. The final design, to be exact.
Did you ever know that you had to get the final approval of Mr. Hansen?
No, Your Honor. I know.
Come on, you ought to stop lying. Who does that?
Coming up.
So if you reviewed it on Tuesday, then Wednesday she should have known it was not approved. But she called back your office Wednesday, and John said everything was okay.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Kathy Larson, who is suing Dale Hansen for breach of contract.
So, I mean, I empower my employees to make good decisions, right? If they see the order is good, typically it's an easy process. I just click approve.
Okay, so you empowered them to make the decision.
Yeah, so on Monday, we had the order approved, 20 shirts. It seemed super simple.
What was it on Monday? 20 shirts? What was the design?
20 shirts. I have it here in my evidence. Can I hand this to you?
Yeah, you better tell me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, so I have the original image here. And
okay, I don't know which is which. So before you bring it to me, before you bring it to me, you got a label?
The label.
Yeah,
okay.
It says original.
Otherwise, I don't want to see it.
The first shirt was the one we approved initially, and the shirt on your right, I believe, is the one that I decided I wouldn't be able to do.
But now Tuesday, she changes it. Your employee approves it.
Soft approves it, yeah.
Okay, so when did you look at it?
That evening.
Tuesday evening.
But it was actually Wednesday she called on this last final image.
Why didn't you call her Wednesday and tell her I'm not going to do it?
Well, I did call her Wednesday. It's also up there. I have the call log. I called her 2 times. After I saw the image,
did you leave her a message and say we're not going to do it?
I did not leave a voicemail, no. But the following day I did.
So what good does the call do?
Well, that's why I followed up with an email the next day on Thursday.
She called Wednesday.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, she talked to John Wednesday. John said it's okay still.
When the designs are sent in, they have to be approved and then reconfirmed
Well, you know what?
by the client.
When you give a client a contract, you should say, when your employees approve the design, it should say, subject to sign off by the boss.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
And you should look at people's orders immediately. They don't have a whole week to wait for you to decide.
Well, yeah, and I review them every night, just to be clear. I have a lot of clients.
Okay, so if you reviewed it on Tuesday, then Wednesday she should have known it was not approved. But she called back your office Wednesday, and John said everything was okay. The only day she didn't call back was Thursday.
Yeah.
She gets there Friday and no order.
Yeah, and then she got there Friday and not reading the email at all. Right? I wrote, you see the email there. I told her I wouldn't be able to print her shirts. They went against my religious beliefs, and that I would refund all the money.
Well, what's your religious beliefs got to do with this? What is this?
Homosexuality is not something we promote in our religion.
Well, this love wars is what? This one, the second one?
The second one with 2 women together and then 2 men together? Yes.
So when you saw that on Tuesday, she sent that design in. And you didn't see it till Wednesday.
Correct.
You could have left her a voicemail message and said, your T-shirts go against my religious belief. But more importantly, your employees know your religious beliefs. Do they not?
They do.
And when your employee saw the design Wednesday, he didn't tell it went against your religious beliefs.
Yeah, and again, first I don't...
So did you fire him?
No.
Oh, if you didn't fire him for not telling her it went against your religious beliefs, you should have given her T-shirts. By then they were printed, right?
No, I mean, they don't get it printed till
after. Well, you give
I
her back the $500 judgment for the plaintiff.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $500.
Those T-shirts were a symbol for equality, so I hope you at least learned your lesson.
I respect all types of people, but I don't have to support anything that goes against my religion with my business.